So think about the device you're using right now, whether it's a sleek smartphone sitting in the palm of your hand, a laptop on your desk, or maybe a smart TV across the room. You wake up, you check your messages, you navigate traffic using GPS, you stream your favorite shows. Nowadays, technology runs absolutely every aspect of our lives. It dictates how we work, how we communicate, and even how we learn. But how did we actually get here? It's a fundamental question, isn't it? Our modern world can feel like pure magic sometimes, but it definitely didn't just drop out of the sky. To truly understand the tools we use today, we have to uncover the evolutionary journey that kicked off centuries ago. All right, welcome to This Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to guide you through this material today. We're taking a deep dive into an introduction to emerging technologies. Okay, let's just dive right into this. We're going to take an enthusiastic, step-by-step approach to uncover the whole timeline of human innovation. We're tracing the path from the very first simple tools all the way to the complex, interconnected digital world we're living in right now. It's a truly fascinating journey through what we call the industrial revolutions. And I promise you, seeing it all laid out like this is going to completely change the way you look at the tech in your pocket. So here is our roadmap for today. We'll start with a baseline look at the evolution of technology. Then we'll break down the 4 types of industry. Next, we travel back to steam power and telegraphs before rocketing forward into the digital revolution. And finally, we'll arrive at the present day, the 4th industrial revolution. Okay, kicking things off with Section 1, Tech Evolution and its Gradual Development. It's a familiar concept, right? That classic march of progress. We go from early humans foraging with the most basic sticks and stones to standing up straighter, developing agricultural tools, and eventually hunching right back over a glowing computer monitor. It's kind of funny, for sure, but it actually hits on a really profound truth. The source material makes a great point here. Just like human beings, our technology is engaged in a continuous, living process of development. It adapts, it improves, and it constantly builds upon what came before it. But really, what do we mean by evolution here? Well, it's quite simply the process of developing by gradual changes. And this is vital to keep in mind. The highly advanced, emerging tech we use today didn't just appear overnight out of thin air. No way. They are the direct result of compounding, gradual changes over generations. Every single new invention is essentially just a stepping stone built right on the foundation of the previous one. Moving right along to Section 2. Types of industry and their economic engines. Before we look at the specific types of industry, we have to define what actually causes a massive leap forward. An industrial revolution at its very core happens when a society fundamentally shifts from using manual tools to using entirely new sources of energy. Think about the transition from relying on human or animal muscle power to suddenly utilizing coal to power massive machines in centralized factories. The source material notes that this initial revolution actually started in England, driven by a series of mechanical innovations that were desperately trying to make labor more efficient and highly productive. It completely transformed how human beings worked. Now, we can cleanly slice the economy into 4 distinct types of industry, which makes it incredibly easy to see how our society leveled up. At the very base, we have the primary industry. This is all about getting raw materials directly from the earth, mining, farming, fishing. Then we step up to the secondary industry, which takes those raw materials and focuses on manufacturing, like making steel or building cars. Next up is the tertiary industry, which is all about providing a service. Think teaching, nursing, or retail. And finally, at the very peak, we have the quaternary industry. This involves intensive research and development. Information technology, or IT, lives right here at the top. Over the course of the industrial revolutions we're about to explore, you'll see a massive societal shift as the focus moves from primary, farming, all the way to quaternary IT. Let's map this out chronologically. We start all the way back in the 1760s with the first industrial revolution, move to the 1870s for the second, jump to the late 1950s for the third, and finally arrive at our present day for the fourth. That brings us to Section 3, Steam and Telegraphs. Entering the mechanical era. To really wrap your head around the impact of the first industrial revolution, which kicked off around the 1760s, you have to contrast the pre-industrial world of hand production and rural living with the totally new reality of machine production, massive factory systems, and the explosion of big cities. This wasn't just a change in tools, you guys. It was a massive cultural shift. People migrated in droves from vast rural areas into densely packed cities, specifically to find work in these new factories. And the driving force behind that shift? That emerged in the 1800s, as water and steam-powered machines were developed to aid workers, drastically increasing what one single person could produce. But the momentum didn't stop there. It fed right into the second industrial revolution, the technological revolution, starting around the 1870s. This era was defined by the development of interchangeable parts and the massive, widespread adoption of systems like the telegraph and huge railroad networks. Steam trains weren't just about transport. They allowed for the vast, rapid movement of people and ideas, fundamentally supercharging global communication for the very first time in history. Jumping ahead to Section 4, the digital revolution, and our shift to electronics. This era is defined by a massive, truly foundational shift. We completely transitioned away from mechanical and analog technology, and we moved straight into digital electronics. Because of this profound shift toward digitalization, the third industrial revolution earned a very famous nickname, the digital revolution. The core factor here was society basically abandoning those clunky mechanical parts in favor of the mass production and widespread use of digital logic circuits. Just think about how fast this happened. Mobile phones started as these massive, heavy brick phones with huge antennas, and they rapidly shrank down, lost the physical keyboards, and evolved into the sleek, incredibly powerful touchscreens we rely on today. This rapid visual compression of technology is the absolute hallmark of the digital revolution. And hey, digital logic circuits didn't just change our phones, they birthed the personal computer itself. We evolved from a simple abacus and early mechanical calculators to massive room-sized terminals to clunky desktop towers and finally to the ultra-thin, all-in-one modern desktop computers. The mass production of these digital circuits is exactly what derived the computer and ultimately the internet, literally connecting the entire globe digitally. Which lands us at our final stop, Section 5, the fourth revolution, IR 4.0 and AI. Today, we are dealing with a totally interconnected web of modern breakthroughs. We're no longer just talking about a single machine or a single computer. IR 4.0 is characterized by a massive integration of emerging tech. We've got cloud computing, big data, blockchain, virtual and augmented reality all woven together. Specifically highlighted in the source are massive advancements in the Internet of Things, IoT, where everyday objects are hooked up to the web. We also see 3D printing, also known as additive manufacturing, and highly advanced robotics. Everything is connected, speaking to each other, and generating vast, vast amounts of data. But within this web, there is absolutely one star player. The source material emphasizes that artificial intelligence, or AI, is the major breakthrough of IR 4.0. AI acts as the intelligent brain coordinating this entire new era. It's already seamlessly implemented into the smartphones we use every single day to predict our texts and curate our feeds. But more than that, AI is the main element that literally gives life to autonomous self-driving vehicles and highly automated intelligent robots. We have moved from machines that need constant human operation to machines that can actually think, learn, and act on their own. So we started with sticks and stones, we moved to coal and steam, we digitized our world with tiny circuits, and now we're building machines that can think for themselves. So I want to leave you with a provocative thought here. Look at the smartphone in your hand right now or the computer on your desk. We've seen that evolution is a process of continuous, gradual changes. The march of progress hasn't stopped, it's accelerating. As this incredible cycle of human innovation continues to speed up, what do you think the fifth industrial revolution will bring? Will we merge completely with our tech? Will it solve our greatest global challenges? Keep that curiosity alive because the next revolution, well, it's already being built today.